It's better also. Hello, I'm Alma, and I'm very emotional. So, I have to breathe. I didn't plan to speak here because I didn't know Ashleigh as long as probably most of you have. But Chastity encouraged me, and maybe I can share a little bit from this year. I always had this one of his words, one of his epigrams, one of his lines in my head. Didn't know where it came from, but it was I have abandoned my search for truth and I'm now looking for a good fantasy. And I always had that in my head, and I always loved it, and somehow it was always stuck in my head, but I had no idea where it's from. So earlier this year, out of, sometimes you just randomly do things, and one night I decided to look up, where is this from? Is this from a movie or a song lyric? I just had no idea. So I researched it and I found Ashleigh Brilliant, the artist. And then I also discovered his website, which quickly became my favorite place on the internet. And I discovered all of his work, so there was so much to discover: his diaries, his writing, his pot shots, his brilliant thoughts. And I had an intense time in my life at that moment, and his work, his words really resonated a lot with me. I'm a writer, and I love the word as a form to express oneself, and his words resonated with me always very, very deeply. And so one day I just decided to write him an email, and I wrote to this address that I found on his website, and I put the subject, "I love your website," and I basically told him, "Hello, I'm Alma, I'm German, and I live in Paris, and I really love all of your work, and can we be email friends? I would love to be your email friend." And my friends and family, they were like telling me how beautiful would it be if you could meet this man, this Mr. Brilliant, and tell him how much his words mean to you. And at that time I wasn't feeling up for a travel. I wasn't really feeling so courageous. It felt a little daunting to travel to Santa Barbara. But one day I felt like this was exactly what I needed to do. And I wrote Ashleigh and asked him if I could visit him, and thankfully he said yes. And it was one of the things where I just knew if I don't do this, I would regret that a lot. I didn't know what was going to be next summer or how plans change, so I decided it had to be this summer, and now I'm very, 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 very glad I did make the travel to Santa Barbara in this summer. And he told me I should call him when I leave LA to drive up to Santa Barbara. And I tried to call him, but the eSIM that I'd gotten didn't work for calls, so I was like running around Silver Lake asking people, "Hello, I need to call my email friend, can you please give me your phone?" And I was running around, I was like, what am I doing here? Like, am I okay for traveling here and now running around Silver Lake asking people for their cell phones? But found someone, and I called, and he didn't pick up, but it was all good. I then drove up to Santa Barbara, where I was feeling a little bit frantic at that point. And I arrived in Santa Barbara, pulled up on Valerio Street, and I walked to his house, and there he was sitting with like his walking stick, and on the porch with his hat kind of pulled down. And I walked up there and I said, "Oh, Mr. Brilliant," and then he looked up and said, "Oh, Alma," and then we stood there so many miles distance the month before, and like such an, obviously 60 years of age apart, more than 60 years. And then I spent 2 beautiful afternoons in Santa Barbara with Ashleigh and Chastity. And he pulled out from his pocket like a little paper, because he told me he still writes 1 line every day. And on that day, August 1st, it was, his line was, I have no idea what I'm doing, but apart from that, everything is okay. And that hit me that moment so hard, because I was like, in that moment I just felt like so at ease suddenly, because I was like, yeah, it's all okay. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I know it's the right thing. And apart from that, everything is okay. And it felt so wild to me that a 91-year-old man had that thought, and me, 29 years old, could like resonate with it so deeply. And I still think about that so much, and somehow Ashleigh's words always found me at the right time. His words, his thoughts, his works, him as a person, this whole journey that I made because of him to Santa Barbara this summer, yeah, just meant so much to me, means still so much to me. And the morning that I found out that he had passed away, I wrote him another email, or I wrote another email, and I have not looked at it since, so I'm just going to read as I go along parts of it. I wrote, I want to start this how I start every email to you, dear Mr. Brilliant. On a seemingly random day this year, I hit send on an email to the address I found on your website. I had no idea if you still checked that account, or if the address was even working, and not only 12 hours later, I unexpectedly, and to my great joy, got a response from Ashleigh@west.net. That's the first time I saw your name in my inbox, Ashleigh Brilliant. And I knew I had received something very precious, and I actually wrote about it in my journal the next morning. In my journal, I wrote, something magical happened, well, half magical, half brilliant, because, of course, it's Mr. Brilliant. I had an email from him in my inbox. I could cry. This email, it felt like such a gift, like I had truly just now received this extraordinary gift from Ashleigh Brilliant. I wish I could fly to Santa Barbara right now and speak to him, tell him in person how much I love his brilliant thoughts, his writing, his potshots, his website. I hope he had a good life so far. I hope he's not feeling lonely. I hope he's happy and well taken care of, and I know he was. I hope he feels loved by his friends and his family. I hope he's well. I would love to keep in touch with him. Maybe I write him another email, ask him how he's doing, tell him about me or Paris. Maybe he doesn't care. He's so brilliant. And I did write you another email, and I did end up spending 2 days with you in Santa Barbara that I hold so dear in my heart. And now, Mr. Brilliant, this will be my final email to you. I very miss to see your name there. I wish I could ask you again, what are you thinking today? Because after I visited him, I said, if you ever feel like writing me another line that you wrote that day, please feel free to share, because I know it will just be like my little companion for the day. I know it would force me to look at whatever I currently had in my mind a little differently, shift my perspective. One time you emailed me this one. What is the best thing to do when nothing matters? It is to do the thing you know actually you should be doing, then everything matters. And for me, it was flying to Santa Barbara to meet you. My email friend, the very brilliant Mr. Ashleigh Brilliant. Thank you for everything. And I will miss you. Love, Alma.